Mox.
He's old, he's fat, he hasn't been laid in years.
Oh! Mox-o-Meter.
Alright, and here we are in the top 10 of my favorite movies of 2010. And coming in at number 10 is She's Out of My League. And I know this one is probably going to turn some heads or make you scratch your head, but there's always one movie that kind of just, I don't know, for whatever reason, resonates with me, and I just kind of fall in love with every year. And just a movie that kind of just comes out of nowhere. And this was this one, She's Out of My League. And I just completely just, I guess you learn to connect with the characters and everything. It's just seeing this guy who, is just a down and out, just a regular old Joe, regular old schmo, and finally kind of get this girl that he thought he could never get in his life, and that she is just, she falls in love with him, and she turns out to be a cool person too. That's the thing I like about She's Out of My League, is that they could have made Alice Eve, who plays Molly in this film, they could have made her out to be just a real, like, kind of bitchy girl or anything, but she's just a real cool gal. So you kind of want her, and in the end, you want her to fall in love with him. You want her to be with him in the end, because he's just a good old dude. And Jay Baruchel, he gets kind of annoying in some movies, but I really liked him in this one, and I thought he was great. And the other thing that's really good about this movie is the supporting cast. So many good supporting characters in this film, from his best friends to his family to her friends. It's just a great all-around movie, and I was just smiling the entire way through, and I just really enjoyed it. I've watched it I don't know how many times since last year, at least 10 or more, and I don't know, I just love it. And it's a great film. It's a feel-good movie, and it's a little raunchy. It's a little raunchy comedy as well, so it's a lot of fun. And it's number 10, She's Out of My League. Okay, and now at number 9 we have the film Winter's Bone. And I don't know how many people have seen it or even heard of it, but it kind of was an independent feature that came out last year, and it's nominated for a couple of Academy Awards, and it stars Jennifer Lawrence. She's kind of a newcomer, and she plays a teenager who basically has to watch her mother, who is very sick, and her little brother and sister. They live in the Ozarks. They're very poor, so it's kind of like this little mountain town, little mountain family, and her father has gone away, and he's a drug dealer, and he's left, and if he doesn't show up for a court hearing, then she's going to lose the house, and they'll be kicked off their property, and they'll lose everything. So it's basically this kind of like mystery, because as she tries to find what happened to her father, where he is, and if she can get him back for this court day, it's kind of like a mystery meets this kind of family country drama, and it's a real cool mix of these two things. And you see how this family in the woods and in the mountains kind of just lives, and how poor they are. They shoot squirrels to eat squirrels, and so it's a very interesting movie, and Jennifer Lawrence does a very, very good job as in the title. She just carries the movie. Also really good, who plays her uncle, his name's Teardrop, is John Hawkes. He's been around for a long time. He's been mostly a supporting actor, and so he's one of those guys, you see his face and like, oh yeah, I've seen him somewhere before. But he plays her uncle, and he is really good and very powerful in this movie as well. And he was nominated for an Academy Award as well for Best Supporting Actor. But so it's very good, and you kind of you're taking on this little mystery as well, and it's kind of just all this stuff in between. It's a big collage of stuff, but it's a very good movie, and definitely give it a chance if you haven't seen it yet. It's called Winter's Bone, and it's number 9. Okay, and now at number 8 we have The Fighter, and it's the true story of Irish Mickey Ward, who was a boxer in the 80s, and about him and his family life, how his brother trained him, and his brother is a drug addict, and how his family is kind of behind him in his boxing life, and to really move and become a really accomplished boxer, he has to get away from his family, because a lot of times they look at it, they're holding him down. So it's a family story about and it's about boxing and everything. And it's a great movie, great performances. It's really held together by the performances from Christian Bale, who's probably going to win the Best Supporting Actor Oscar, I'm guessing. He's won every other Oscar. Mark Wahlberg does a really good job. Amy Adams, and so it's a really great film. And it's just a really inspirational thing about family, about inspirational movie about family, and kind of love and learning to live with both of them, really. And so it's a great movie, and directed by David O. Russell, who did Three Kings and I Heart Huckabees, amongst others. So he's kind of a popular guy again. He's been out for a little bit, but this film's brought him back, and it's definitely a great movie. And give it a look, and great performances all around. The Fighter at number 8. Alright, and going down our list of the top 10 of 2010, we're at number 7, and here we have Black Swan. Now, you've probably heard a lot about Black Swan. It's doing pretty well, and it stars Natalie Portman. It's basically what it is. It's about a ballerina. It's about a ballet company. She gets the lead in Swan Lake. So it's a movie. The movie itself is kind of a modernized version of Swan Lake, and she finds herself becoming the Black Swan. She's more of the White Swan, and now if you've seen Swan Lake, it's about the Black Swan and the White Swan. And so it's a very trippy movie. Is all this stuff that's going on in her head, is it really happening? And it's really, really trippy flick. Great performance by Natalie Portman. She's basically in every scene. She really does a great job of keeping this movie together, and it's a really real powerhouse performance. It's very you just can't take your eyes off her in this movie. And it's a great supporting cast as well, with Mila Kunis, Vincent Cassel, Barbara Hershey, and it's directed by Darren Aronofsky, who made the fantastic The Wrestler a couple of years ago. And it's a really trippy, a lot of people are kind of like, it's really been off and on with some people, but I thought it was great, and it's really just, it's out there, but it's very interesting. So that's number 7, Black Swan. All right, and now at number 6, and there's really not there's really not much distinction, I got to tell you, between 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I mean, they're all really good, and I just had to kind of throw them into a number. So a lot of these movies, you could plug them in almost everywhere. They're all very good, and it was really hard kind of deciding where to plug every movie. But there's really only 1, 2, and 3 are really the only ones that stand out for me. But besides that, but here at number 6, here is True Grit. Now, it's the Coen brothers' take on the book, so it's not really a remake of the 1969 version with John Wayne, but more of a traditional and more about from the book than the movie. So it's a lot more darker than the John Wayne version, and but it's very good. Jeff Bridges does a fantastic job as Rooster Cogburn, and Matt Damon is very good in it. Josh Brolin, but the real standout is Haley Steinfeld, who plays a little girl that hires Rooster Cogburn to find the killer of her father, and she is very, very good. She really has a great movie presence, great film presence on this, and she really is very powerful in this movie. And it wouldn't surprise me if she won the Best Supporting Actress. I don't think she will, but you know, it really wouldn't surprise me if she kind of just swoops in there and gets it. The Coen brothers, of course, doing a great job. This is probably the most straightforward movie that they've done, but it's very good. They do a great job, and it's just the cinematography as well in this movie. The landscapes, everything is just beautiful, and really one of the really great flick. And so that's it. And number 6 is True Grit.